All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of SWAC Talk, the show we cover the SWAC inside and out. I am your tour guide around the SWAC Seawells, and I'm gonna hop in before we get ready to do SWAC Smoke. I'm gonna pop in real quick and take care of these recaps of quarterfinal action day two, session one. Um, Two really close games. The both games ended with the same score. So that what's the odds of that? Um, y'all got bear with me, man. I'm hurting a little bit, so I'm gonna fight through this one. But first off, the Alabama State women Lady Hornets defeated the Prairie View Lady Panthers by a score of 60-58. Very close game. Alabama State used a big second quarter to take the lead, and then Prairie View fought back and actually outscored Alabama State 40-28. I mean, yeah, 40-28 to cut this game down and honestly lose by two. But it was a pretty exciting game. But the three seed Alabama State advances. Um, so let's take a look at the box score here. We're gonna take a look at this. Uh, Kennedy Paul had 12 points for Prairie View. Diana Rosenthal led Prairie View with 29 points, and Clark had 13 points off the bench. Rebounding, Paul had 8 rebounds to lead the Panthers. Assists, the leading assist person was Hurd with 2, and Hurd also had 6 steals as well. So a big defensive game for her. Prairie View shot 25% from the field, 17% from three, and 81% from the free throw line. The shooting in this tournament has not been great. I don't know if it's the rims. I don't know if it's the backdrop. I don't know if it's just teams just not making shots. But this has been a tough tournament for shooting as a pretty much as a whole. Prairie View had 33 rebounds on the night, 7 assists, 12 steals, 3 blocks, and 15 turnovers. On the night, they committed 23 fouls. Alabama State was led by Shemaya Ward. She had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks. Nice game for her. Ayana Emanuel, 12 points and 9 rebounds for her, 2 assists. And the other double-digit score was Pearson. She had 12 points and 7 rebounds off the bench. So that's a nice bench effort right there. Alabama State shot 40% from the field, 16% from three, and 60% from the free throw line. They had 50 total rebounds. So they won the board battle big time. They had 16 assists, 5 steals, 3 blocks. They turned the ball over 25 times. So that's what kept Prairie View in the game. Turnovers, 20 fouls for Alabama State. But Alabama State picks up a big victory, and they move on to the semifinals. Friday semifinal number 1. They take on the 7th seed Grambling Lady Tigers. So Alabama State moves on and inch closer to another SWAC championship appearance. Prairie View season comes to a close, but they fought and clawed and they stayed in this game. They could have very easily, went home early. They were down 30, 32-18 at the half, so they could have very easily folded, but they did not. They kept fighting and they kept playing, and they got themselves back in the game, but ultimately came up short. So, like I said, we have one women's semifinal already set. Jackson State is awaiting the winner of Southern and Texas Southern, who are gonna tip off at about 5:30. So we'll know what that matchup is in a couple hours. I will do a recap of the evening session like I did last night. So I'll be back on. I'm gonna be on air like 3 times a day, so y'all gonna get y'all feel of me. But let's talk about this other game, man. This game was the game that got me in my feelings right now. But Grambling picked up their 3rd victory over Southern this year, a 3-game sweep. Um, this was an ugly game. I mean, neither team really took control of this game. Southern led by 3 at half. Grambling outscored Southern by 5 points in the second half to win this game by 2, by a score of 60-58. The key guy in this game, man, was Tremichael Moulton. He nearly had a triple double, 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists, 3 steals as well. Big game for him. in a winning effort. He actually was the leading scorer on Gramblin's team. Prince Moss had 11 points. Cameron Christian, who is one of their top scorers, he had 8 points and 6 rebounds. Moss had 8 rebounds as well. Grambling, 38 rebounds on the night, 13 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks, 12 turnovers, and 18 fouls. They shot 43% from the field, 20% from the 3 point line, and 68% from the free throw line. When this tournament is over, I want to go back and look at each game and see the shooting percentages, especially from three, because most teams have not really shot the ball well from in this tournament so far. Southern was led by Breon Whitley and Tyrone Lyons. They each had 13 points apiece. Lyons had 8 rebounds. Um, Terrell Williams Jr. had 10 points also for the Jags, so they had 3 scores in double digits. Jaden Sadler had 7 assists. Southern shot 36% from the field, 28% from the 3 point line. And the number I'm gonna circle, if you're a Southern fan, that if you want to know why you lost, 12 or 24 from the free throw line for 50%. You're not gonna beat hardly anybody shooting 50% from the free throw line in a 4 point game. You had 2 chances to basically tie the game. Um, you were down 4. You had a trip to the line. You missed both. You play defense, get the ball back, get another trip to the line. Down, if you'd have made those 2, you'd have been down 2. Then you miss 2 more, and now you're still down 4. And then you ultimately get a great chance down 2 with like 9 seconds to go. Grambling missed a dunk at the end when they probably should have just ran the clock out and took the foul. But I don't blame Cameron Christian for making that play down the floor, because I mean he was wide open. But you probably should take that foul and start this game away at the line. But Southern gets the ball with 2 seconds left. I mean, with 9 seconds left, down 2, get fouled, miss the front end of 1-and-1, and that's that. So to me, it comes down to Grambling. Grambling has had their way with Southern in this season, especially. Coach Jackson, honestly, he owns Southern right now. He doesn't own anybody else right now, but he owns Southern. And that's something that, if you're a Southern fan, that's something that's got to change. If you're a Grambling fan, then you have a coach that can get these guys to another level, and they're playing. They don't play pretty, but they find themselves in almost every game that they play. And sometimes they come up short, but sometimes they can pull it out. And this was one of those games that they were able to pull it out. And I would say, look out for Grambling, man. If they can find a way to get past Texas Southern, they can win this tournament. Like I said before, every team, all 8 teams in this tournament, I felt like had a legitimate shot. It just hinged on getting that first W. Um, Grambling got that first W, and now they're in a position to find themselves in the semifinals, which they will face off against Texas Southern. That's a 2 o'clock tip off tomorrow. So they're one step closer to the championship. Um, another thing that I thought Grambling did well in this game. Like I said, they didn't turn the ball over a lot. There weren't a lot of turnovers in this game. Southern turned the ball over 11 times. Southern's turnovers were costly though. Southern had 6 steals, 13 assists, 38 rebounds. Like I said, free throw shooting was was the difference in this game. Grambling didn't shoot the ball great from the free throw line either. Like I said, 68%, but they made the shots that they needed to make when they needed to make them. So that wraps up the first session of today's action tonight. Texas Southern women's basketball tips off at about 5:30, and then Florida A&M, Alabama A&M men's game tips off at about 8:30. I will be here after that those games wrap up to do a recap of that, and then we'll be on to the semis, man. So we are one step closer to finding out who's gonna win the SWAC tournament, men and women. It's been an exciting tournament. Pretty much every game has been, you know, a fairly close game. I don't believe, other than there's been one double digit margin of victory in this whole tournament so far on men and women. one overtime game. I almost had another overtime game, but this has been a very competitive tournament, and I think it shows that it shows the parity in this league right now, especially on the men's side. Um, Honestly, there was no real difference between 3 seeds Southern and 6 seed Grambling, and there wasn't a huge difference between 1 seed Alcorn and 8 seed Prairie, 2 TSU, 7 JSU, and I expect the same thing in tonight's game. So with no real team that is, like I keep saying, head and shoulders above anybody else, I think that means that this thing is wide open. So whoever the 4 teams are that make the tournament, to make the semifinals, those 4 teams each have a legit shot at winning this thing. If you're a fan of history, then you should pull for Grambling. Grambling hasn't made the NCAA tournament before, so that's a good look if they can pull it out and make their first ever NCAA tournament. Florida A&M, if they win tonight and find their way through the tournament and win it, then this will be their first ever SWAC championship. So that's a little thing on the line. Alcorn hasn't been to the tournament in a minute, I don't believe. And TSU is the only team that's been quite a few times in recent years. So there's a mix of all kind of things and different programs, and that's a good look on the men's side. On the women's side, it's all gonna be about who can take down the juggernaut of JSU, or if anybody can even do that. Everybody's gonna be willing to give it their best shot, but can JSU make it all the way through to the end? That's another thing to keep an eye out on. So, with that being said, man, I'm about to get on up out of here. We got SWAC Smoke coming up in a few minutes, so make sure you check that out, and then I'll be back later tonight with the recap of session 2 of day 2 of the quarterfinals, and then we'll be ready for the semis, man. So with that being said, I'm your tour guide, C. Wells. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like the video, share them, and drop me a comment. Let me know how you think the tournament is going. And hit the socials, like them, share, like them, follow them, whatever. And I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.